There was a debate this week between some of these newscasters, and every once in a while when my life just gets too good and too happy and I want to aggravate myself, I turn on the television and watch the news, because like in 10 minutes I'm already angry again and loading my guns. No, I'm teasing. Anyway, there was a debate as to who is, they're making a list. I don't know who's making it. Don't hold me to this. They're making a list of who are the greatest presidents ever in the United States.
George Washington.
George Washington. Well, that's just because he was the first one.
Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. Well, that's
George
because...
Washington was not just the first, he was a warrior, too.
This isn't a debate.
He knew him personally. Newt Gingrich had a column.
You and I are getting a hot dog cart. We're going to earn a living selling hot dogs in front of the hardware store. Anyway, some are arguing for Mr. Trump now because the economy is better than it's ever been in the history of our country and all this other stuff. It is the consecutive majority that believes it was Abraham Lincoln who did the most genuine good for this country, even despite the fact that he faced war, the first civil war in this nation. The nation was tearing itself apart, and he would ultimately pay the highest price to preserve this union. But the thing was, they were going to honor him originally. They were going to honor Abraham Lincoln on the $100 note back in the 1860s. And Lincoln said no, he would not allow that. Instead, he wanted to be, or grace, if they got to put his face on something, he wanted to be on the penny. And the reason was because everybody would probably have a penny every once in a while. Even the poorest of the poor and the hardest of the hard and the weakest of the weak could eventually come across maybe a penny or two for some bread or something. He says, I don't want to be lorded on the $100 note where only the rich and the elite could have it. You know what? I was thinking about that this week, and I was thinking, we call him the greatest president, yet we stick his face on a penny. Now, I know that later, after the Second World War, they put it on the $5 bill as well. But for a long, long time, he was just on the penny. And I think if they were going to mint a coin for Jesus, it would probably be on the penny as well. Because Jesus was and was intended, promised to be, and did fulfill being the Savior of everybody, particularly the common people. The prophecy in Isaiah said, I shall send my servant, and he shall be my chosen one, in whom I will be well pleased. My spirit shall be greatly upon him, and he shall go to the common people, to everybody. And if he finds a bruised reed or a broken reed, he will not snap that off. You know those reeds that grow by lakes and rivers and that stuff? And sometimes they get broken from the wind. If Jesus sees a broken reed, he will not snap that off. If he sees a candle sputtering to almost way down here, just about to die, he will not extinguish that. Regardless of how poor, how broken, how weak, how life last gasping they may be, Jesus said, I will not see that as unimportant. I will not extinguish it. I will save it. I will redeem it, just as was promised 1,000 years before his coming. I think if we minted a coin today for Jesus, it would be the penny. No disrespect to Abraham Lincoln, but Jesus too was a common man's man. This morning we're going to study this ancient prophecy and what this gift of this child Christ finally brings to us, and the purpose, not just the presence of, but the purpose of God's gift to us. I want you to stand one final